the journaling. This week, I'm interviewing my good friend Mari. Introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, as Julia said, I'm Marie, living in Denmark, but I come from the Czech Republic. I work as a marketing manager, but my very big passion, as Julia knows, is yoga teaching. Really excited to teach a class right after this podcast.
Yeah, and every guest gets the same question. How would you define joy?
I think for me, joy is a very strong feeling in the body. Like I visualize it always like this beautiful kind of pinkish, maybe baby blue cloud in my body that is like this warm and super soft. And it's just, it makes me feel so amazing. But for me, joy is not just about like excitement in the body, but it's also about just contentment with how I am and with what I say, how I communicate with others and what I do in my life. Because I think if I'm content with all the things I do and how I feel, then that's joy for me as well.
Wonderful. And you said that one of your biggest passion is yoga. And how does yoga links to joy?
I feel that through teaching yoga, I can actually create joy in people. I can create this calmness and contentment, and for them to realize how amazing they are in their bodies and in their mind. I do many meditations as well, where I try to bring some joyful moments into their mind. So I remind them of some good states they had in the past, and I try to remind them of how amazing they can feel, because we often forget, how amazing life can be.
Yeah, and I don't know if you know that, but actually joy and happiness are activating different nervous systems. So joy is activating the parasympathetic nervous system, that it's a calm feeling, and the happiness is the sympathetic nervous system, which is the excitement and kind of go mode. So definitely when you do yoga, you go, let's say, lower on the excitement and you go higher on joy, I would say. Because I think it's hard to be hyped while you do yoga.
Exactly, but you can still feel joy.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
And I can see it in my students, after the class, I can see it in their eyes, I can see the sparkles, and you can see like the inner joy in them, I believe. Yeah.
That's so cool. And wow, I think that's amazing that you got to see the transition in people. But what do you think, like, are people joyful around you?
I would say so. I think you are joyful when we are together. So some good advice. I hope that I bring joy to other people when I am with them. And one of my goals in life is to be my friend's biggest cheerleader. I wrote it as one of the things for my goals for this year, that I really want to be there for my friends and to cheer them up and, to recognize them for the things that they are really amazing at, because I think that we often forget that.
Wow, you are definitely that. Like, you cheer on everything that I'm posting, and you are such a supportive friend. So you are definitely doing well on that goal this year. I can reassure you on that. That's awesome. That's really cool. And I wanted to talk with you about something, because I know the insight from you that it's not only yoga that you are passionate about, but there is something that it's for many on the other spectrum, which is money and investing. And that's also, it's like a yogi that is great with money, because usually people don't talk about money, and that's not what we do. We definitely talk about money together. And so how does, in your eyes, like, how does money links to joy?
I think it can support it. I think, that money is just a tool, and you can use it in many different ways, and you can use it to buy the things that can bring you much more joy. For me, it's, for example, travel. I know when I travel, I think I feel even more amazing and more joyful than in my everyday life, even though I try to create a life that I'm really, excited to wake up for and have this joy in it every day. But I think, for example, experiences can bring you joy, and there are also certain things like buying yourself a healthy Pokeball that brings me joy. Like, I'm really joyful when I'm eating it, right? But I often tell you that I feel like I have like two personalities, and one of them is this yoga spirituality, diving into chakras and into the inner body. And on the other side, I really love personal finance. I love looking into asset allocation and, budgeting and investment. And it also brings me joy. It's not every month that I am into both for example, this month, I think I enjoy both at the same time. You know, I'm having some workshops with yoga, and I'm also doing this course called Smart Money, where I'm learning even more into different ways of investment, because so far I only focus on stocks and a bit bonds. And I have invested into our apartment. Some would argue maybe it's not the best investment because we are living there. So I'm looking into some other ways to invest as well, and see how it can maybe bring me more joy in the future as well. So that I can, because right now I have a full-time job, as you know. I love my full-time job, but I can feel that I could go, for example, part-time in the future and then do part-time yoga. And I believe that this awareness of finances can allow me that.
Yeah, and I think it's a big belief that, like, I'm also very passionate about personal finances more and more, like as a business owner and business strategist, like it would be impossible not to, but there is a lot of beliefs, and that's some of the beliefs that I broke through like some time ago, that it's either mindset. Either you are spiritual or either you have money, and you are a person that combines both. Because I think to be a yoga teacher and also really successful at investing, that's a kind of unique combo, and you are just showing that you don't need to choose. And I think that's really cool. And I do agree that it's sometimes difficult to be joyful and in this calm state and content when you do worry about money. So money can bring actually joy, and I think it brings joy, but it's the mindset around it that doesn't allow for some people to experience joy because they have money or they don't have money. This could be either both.
And I also think that, for example, people who are in debt, right, they have experienced less joy and then they experience more stress. So just getting rid of that and being on this balance, having this like break even in your life that immediately brings this feeling in your body and your mind. And then you have maybe more energy to focus on other things instead of just wasting time on, always thinking about those bills you have coming in.
Yeah, actually, we spoke about it the other time that being good with money can make you even more spiritual, because when you are good on the basics, right, of the Maslow pyramid, then you can just go higher. And what is on the top, it's like
self-realization.
Yeah, I think self-realization. Then you can start thinking about it when your basics are covered, where your living is covered, then you can start thinking about it. And actually we had a really cool conversation after last time yoga, right, like with the girls that moved to Denmark from South America, and talking about how Denmark is different because all the basics are covered, and how they can focus on their growth, that coming out of this flight and fight mode to rest and digest and actually relax. I think that was quite powerful.
Yeah, and I can also say that it was not the same for me, because in the Czech Republic we are doing quite well. But I think also after getting my full-time job and having a job that is bringing me joy, and at the same time, making okay salary from it just overall elevates your life, I think, on many different levels, because you can stop focusing on the basic needs, and you have everything covered. So then you have time for this self-realization and focusing on your health, and focus on self-development and investing in yourself, not only into, I don't know, stocks and bonds, but maybe buying courses that are making you even a better person than you have been before, right? We both are very excited into self-development, and maybe spend way too much money on different courses.
I don't think so. I think it's all investment. And I like it how we can, we both are doing course. I think there is always course for me that it's out there, or I'm already enrolled in one, but it's cool how we can exchange those experiences. So that's, it's good to be surrounded by people that they are in the growth mindset. And I think I was actually reflecting today how we met. And then I think one of the messages on LinkedIn that I sent to you, it was something about that. Oh, I think seen some of your posts. You seem like a cool person, and I could be definitely friends with you. I think that's what I wrote.
Then I think you said something like, oh, I think we should be friends. That's how Julia makes friends, maybe. Like, just on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I just pick and choose people to be friends with. No, but it just somehow works. So if you yeah, for the ones that they are listening, if you feel like you are not surrounded by the right people, just maybe get inspired by me and pick one, and just make sure that you work on yourself to have something to offer. Like, not maybe offer like things in your hand, but energetically, I would say that you bring something to the table, like a joy and good vibes, not negativity and complaining, because I've seen that kind of also happening, that some people wanted to be friends with me, but the vibes weren't there. So I was like, I'm sorry, but I cannot have you in my space. So it's the boundaries brings me joy, I would say.
Yeah, exactly. I think boundaries are so important. I just wanted to mention that, I still don't have it all figured out. With the finances, for example, I think I'm very good in finances and in investment as well. But I do have, for example, issues with setting price for myself when I'm supposed to put a price on my yoga workshop, on yoga mini retreat, or on a yoga class. So there's still steps for improvement for sure. There's still a bit of a scarcity mindset. And I think in the yoga world, the thing can be with spirituality that you don't want to put a price on something that you love doing sometimes, because you're like, oh, I'm just really good at it and I just love doing. I don't think I should get money for it. So that is like my biggest, I would say, learning right now, something that I'm working with for sure. Yeah, maybe I need coaching from you on that.
Yeah, I could definitely help with that. But also, it's all about value that you deliver, and I can tell it from from watching you for past years, I think now, that you deliver enormous amount of value, and so many people are impacted by your work, that for the better. So you bring joy to many. And I have a question about how somebody that is listening to that, what would you recommend to them to get into more joyful state, or like how to start experiencing more joy? Because because you are in this state that you are not only joyful yourself, otherwise you wouldn't be on the podcast. That's the main requirement for the guest, but you also deliver joy to many others. So what would you recommend to somebody?
I think I have two go-tos right now, and one of them we discussed before. I started doing it a couple of months ago when I felt like I needed more joy in my life. So I wrote down at least 20 different things that bring me joy. Some small things, just drinking a matcha latte or going for a walk or just singing a little bit, doing yoga. And I decided for the next, I think it was 30 days, to do 3 of those every day. And I was just on the highest vibe ever at that time. I think I'm quite high right now as well. I don't do it on a regular basis, but I think it's just became kind of part of my life, that every day I do at least one thing that really brings me joy. Maybe it's mantra chanting, maybe it's doing a walking meditation, but something that really, sparks this cloud in my body. And actually this cloud for me is now like an anchor. It's something that I can remind myself of if I am in a situation that maybe is not so comfortable. So when I start thinking of that in my body, this softness and these beautiful colors, it really starts bringing me more joy, or at least it brings me into like a more positive state. And I had this favorite walking meditation that I share all the time on my Instagram. And it's not me who actually recorded it. It's Mimi Bouchard, I think. She has this app called Superhumans, and she calls it an activation. It's about being your magnetic self. And I think just the music and that audio is, wow. It just brings you like 10 levels higher than you have been before. So yeah, I would recommend finding it on Spotify. Just look for Become.
Yeah, we will link it in the notes,
because it's really just like, it's so uplifting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I tried it. It was pretty good.
Yeah,
I definitely tried it. Because when you were saying like singing a bit, like a little bit shy, I have a story about it, because I absolutely love singing. And I remember, like, when I was little, I was looking through my mom's diary, and when other people were like writing stuff, like as a memoir, and then there was like follow like the singing, because that's where the happy people are. Okay. And that's kind of, you cannot be depressed and sing. You cannot be upset and sing, right? You need to be joyful and sing. So I sing all the time. And I remember I was living with one girl, and she told me this, that Julia, I was very insecure about my singing, But after we lived together for a few months, I stopped giving a thought. So I'm assuming she was a musician, that my performance definitely didn't live up to the standards, but I don't give a damn. Like, if I want to sing, I sing. And also there was this trend on Instagram some time ago about my toxic trait. So one of my toxic trait is that, like, I can listen to a song 100 times, but I still forget the lyrics. So I go over and over the same. It's like, it's a torture. Like, I listen to Eye of the Tiger each time when I run, right? So a lot of times, and I still don't know the lyrics. It's crazy.
Oh my god, this song was my go-to song during my like high school exams. Like before an ISA, so I would play this in my ears and we just so pumped up.
It's definitely a power song. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I think
so music is such a joyful thing. But I suppose the listeners want to know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also play a lot with music for my classes, and I am a very hard, like I am very how do you call it, like a critique on songs. Oh my god, the song used to be like really good to be able to make it into my yoga class. You know? Yeah.
Now I'll be paying extra attention to it. Yeah, that's really cool. And what are the other songs that they're like really kind of Eye of the Tiger level, like a powerful? Yeah, it just some are just like, yeah. What is your favorite song for yoga class, for example?
I actually love to use positive energy vibrations. So it's the 5 to 8 hertz. I think.
Is it like a heart chakra?
I honestly cannot remember right now, but it's like loving and positive energy vibes. I like to use then during the class, and then at the end, I usually use something with piano or viola, because I just think viola is just amazing. It just brings such an amazing vibe. And every time I play something with viola, there's somebody who comes after and wants to know what the song was, so they can put it on my playlist. And it's so cool. It seems like it resonates with many people. It just has this beautiful sound.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And also, I know that you are active online. So if somebody would like to connect with you, where do can they find you? Where they can find you? Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I only have an Instagram right now. I used to be quite active on LinkedIn, but I just didn't feel it was right. It was not the platform for me, because I think LinkedIn was a platform for me before I got really involved into yoga, because I was a lot into like business and was super ambitious and this typical overachiever. And it just doesn't resonate anymore. You can still find me there under my full name. That is probably gonna be in the show notes. But otherwise, I'm the most active on Instagram. I just changed my name. It's in Yoga with Marie, because we are in it together, in this yoga together and learning together. That's why I changed it.
That's so beautiful. Yeah, I really like it. Yeah, and Marie is quite active there, and she's having some classes in person in Alba.
Yes, and some workshops and events, and if you're interested in, for example, how you can use your breath to bring more energy or more calmness into your life, that's something that I really focus on in my Instagram. Of course, also some inspiration for yoga classes, and I want to focus a bit more also on yoga beginners, because many of the people who come to my classes, especially at the gym, because I also teach at the gym, they are beginners in yoga, and sometimes I forget that. So I want to become better at it, to bring more people into yoga and make people realize that yoga is for anybody and anybody, any kind of body. Anybody can do it. Yes.
Yeah, I agree. It's I think yoga is one of these things that can be easy and hard at the same time, because there are different levels. For me, when I was getting into it, it was hard on the body, and then a little bit more advanced, then it was hard on the mind to stay focused and really like present and in the moment. So I think there are several levels.
Definitely. And it also depends on how your body feels that day. For example, today in the morning, I was doing a yin yoga class, and usually I love doing yin, but I just felt so challenged by it, You
do yin yoga in the morning?
Sometimes.
Also?
Because I'm teaching 2 classes today, which are hatha. So I wanted to do just something for myself in the morning. And I got really challenged by that. And usually I don't at all, right? And I have done the same class before, maybe twice. So it's just interesting to listen to your body and maybe don't push yourself so much when it just doesn't feel right.
Yeah, for the context, for me, yin yoga is the kind of yoga that I do before sleeping.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely puts you out. Yeah. So yeah, that's why I'm like, oh, you do yin yoga in the morning. That's quite interesting.
It's just about how I feel in the moment. Yeah. So that's what I felt like in the morning.
Amazing.
And it was challenging anyways.
Yeah, that's all of those. All right. So thank you so much for being my guest on the podcast. And is there one more thing or last thing that you would like to share about joy and all the things that brings you joy to our listeners?
I would just say don't overcomplicate it for your listeners with joy, because it's, as we talked about before, it's really the small things. I know that I talked about traveling, but you can really bring joy into your everyday life with these small things. It can be just like, lighting up a candle or drinking your favorite drink. Is just don't overcomplicate it.
I have nothing to add on that. And thank you for listening. And as every Tuesday, it's me and Brian talking about various topics related to joy. And on Fridays, we interview guests. So enjoy.